The legendary Mr. Skin.
Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts Mr. Skin, Jimmy Fela, and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast. I'm Andrea Lowell, and of course joined by the one and only Mr. Skin. How are you, bud?
Doing great, Andrea. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm so excited that we're on episode 35 of the podcast, and we're going to do a big nudity roundup today. We're getting back to old school skin. I know the Anatomy Awards were a big deal. And
I'm still tired from the Anatomy
Awards.
I
know. It's like, it's your big thing you do every year. I'm like, have you recovered?
Yeah, I'm just getting there. My voice is coming back. Yes.
How many radio interviews do you think you did
I know
over the last?
Exactly.
Oh, you do?
48.
Holy
I did 48
shit.
interviews.
48?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
shows around the country, including Howard Stern.
How did Stern go?
It went fantastic. And let me, real quick, before we start, I want to say, because I got a ton to talk about, I want to make sure we do a call out to our big new sponsor. Very excited about it. It's PHGH, the safe and all-natural method for men who want a little extra boost in bed. And it's a great product, and I'll talk more about it during the show.
Cool.
But let me get back to Stern real quick. So it's always like a weird thing for me. It's kind of a surreal thing. I was telling some people about it because over the weekend, when you go on the Stern show, number one, it's like, it's intimidating. It doesn't get any bigger than going on the Stern show as far as going on radio, right?
Yeah.
So it's always leading up to it. I'm always like kind of nervous. I fly to New York. I, stay up kind of late, getting ready to do the show, wake up early, go in and do the show. And you never know with Howard, as awesome as he's been in the 18 years I've been doing this, almost 18 years I've been doing this, you never know, like, is this the time he's not going to be into this stuff, or he's, or it's going to be like a tepid response or whatever. But I got to say, like, it couldn't have gone better.
Oh, good.
He loved it. And then the other thing is that's really weird. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Howard Stern show. I always have been. So I listen to it all the time. Now, imagine if you're a huge fan of a show, but then you also get to be a guest once a year in studio on the show.
Right.
So that's really cool. But what's weird is when I'm driving around, like, I jumped in the car. My daughter was doing some charity thing, and I had to go pick up donuts so they could sell them at this charity thing. I jump in the car. I turn my car on. It was already on Stern, and I'm talking.
Oh
you know
my
what I'm
gosh.
saying? Like, I'm being interviewed because they replay it.
Yeah.
I mean, they must have replayed it 20 times from, I went in on Monday, and then he does Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shows, and then they replay the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shows, like back to back to back, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Wow.
So my interview must have aired 15, 20 times, but I can't explain how weird it is because it's almost like, who is that guy in there talking to Howard? But it's me.
That is so cool. I mean, I've been on Stern myself. It's been, well over a decade, but yeah, you go in there and it's like, how's he going to be? And you at least know he's a fan of yours. And it's just so incredible that you have that huge support of his. And then to hear yourself on his show as not only a fan, but as a contributor, and knowing that you're getting all this re-airing. I'm so proud of you.
Well, thanks. Well, the other thing too is that, the other guys from the show are so nice to me. To give you an idea, like, while I was in the green room waiting to come in, and I'm not exaggerating, Jason came in, Gary came in, John Hine, Benji stopped in,
cool.
Sal,
wow,
Shuli, Ronnie. I mean, all the guys, I'm probably missing a few, but they all came. Jim McClure stepped in to say hi, and it was just really neat because they're also fans of what I do. But I've always been like really nice. I don't come in with an entourage. I'm not like, a prima donna. Hey, thanks for having me.
You mean you don't have a list, a rider where it's like, I need white M&Ms and 2 Doves?
Right. No, not at all. And believe me, they get some of that crap. But I go in and. It was the only time I know my wife came with me when it was my 10th anniversary of I did like my favorite nude scenes of all time for my 10th anniversary, and she was with me, and he actually brought her out to interview. You can find that on YouTube.
Really
where
cool.
her and I are being interviewed. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I got to say, normally it's just me. And but the guys are so nice to me, and like I said, Howard couldn't have been better. This is like I work all year up for this appearance, and I'm always thinking, this is the year they're going to say they don't want to have me on or whatever, and they always have me on, and then I'm worried like, it's not going to go well, but it couldn't have gone better. Howard had me on for 53 minutes. 53 minutes I was in studio.
You were basically the entire show. I mean, let's be real.
Well,
but as a radio host myself, when you have someone on for basically an hour, that's their show. You know what I mean? Because we do other segments and bits and pre-produced whatever, or little tiny snippets or interviews. But when you have someone on for an hour of your show, I mean, that's your show.
Yeah, I think, and that's uninterrupted, there's no commercials or anything.
Isn't
it's like
great?
53 straight minutes. And I think they had John Mellencamp on. He was like 48 minutes. So that was pretty cool. But so what a cool experience. The whole thing, it couldn't have gone better. So I'm very... It was a great thing, and as you can imagine, business was good this week, and
awesome.
That was but now we should talk about Jimmy, who isn't here today. Jimmy is got some business he's attending to. Jimmy, I think some big things are going to happen to Jimmy, so we'll see what happens. We may be losing him. He's wanted by a lot of people in the television industry.
Yes.
He is.
He's in demand.
Listen, well, he hit me up over the weekend. He was like, listen, I got this thing and just wanted to give you a heads up. I won't be able to be on the podcast on Monday. And I was like, dude, that sounds like an incredible opportunity. He didn't want to jinx it.
Right.
So, and I don't even know what it is.
But it's something big.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it's like, this could be a big deal for him. So we'll see what happens. And, anyway, so he's not here.
The show
but it'll
must
be
go on.
You and I. Nudity never rests. So the show must go on. And, we'll go out through the updates, and don't forget, we did the what do we do? The Black History Month top 10 Black actresses. Then we had the Anatomy Awards.
Yes.
So I've got a couple of weeks, a little backup of nudity that I got to get to.
Back that ass up, Skin.
Yeah. Let me start. And I should say, though, I mentioned before we get into this, I did want to say, so real cool, this PHGH. We've gotten to know these guys, just being in the industry we're in, and very proud to have a new sponsor for the Mr. Skin podcast. And basically, what they want me to get across is go check out phgh7.com and watch the video they've put together. And really, this is an all natural way for guys, and I know what this is all about. As a guy who's been in his 50s now, but the fact is, I know it's weird to say,
it doesn't even seem real.
Well, I remember the thing that drives me nuts, no pun intended, is I remember like being in my teens and 20s when like I'd be with a girl and she'd just like barely like kiss my ear or touch my arm, and I'd like come in my pants. Like I want that feeling again,
Yes.
And I want that feeling of being feeling younger. You know what I'm saying? Like just that I miss that, and that's what phgh7 is .com. You go check it out. That's what these guys are all about, and I got to say that I miss those days. So go check it out, and it's pretty cool that they're willing to be a sponsor of the Mr. Skin podcast.
Absolutely, and I really love this because it is a method, and I'm a raw food nutritionist, so anything to me that is not taking prescriptions or narcotics or anything else where there's like a whole host of side effects, I'm totally down and totally behind, and anything that can get our mojo back, because we're supposed to have sex, we're supposed to be frisky. And as we age, we lose that. So it's really important to get it back through a safe and natural method. So I'm behind phgh7.com.
Yep. And they're all natural alternative for men dealing with maybe not feeling like they used to.
Yeah.
So anyway, go check it out. But I got a lot of nudity to get to here. So
let's hit it.
I want to start. I know the order. I'm going to change this order on you, Andrew, a little, because I want to talk first about Big Little Lies, this show on Showtime. I know you're not up to speed with Big Little Lies, but it's an HBO show that there's 3 episodes in now. It's on 9 o'clock Eastern, Sunday nights on HBO. It's created by David E. Kelley, who you might know from Ally McBeal, The Practice, Boston Public, and it's about these mothers of first graders, and it's interesting. It sounds like they have these. It looks from the outside like they all have this wonderful life, but in fact, there's a lot of darkness, including what's looking like some murder coming up. But Big Little Lies is going to be an 8-episode, I'm pretty sure 8-episode miniseries. But listen to this cast.
Okay.
Nicole Kidman is one of the moms.
Wow.
Shailene Woodley plays like a single mom who has a first grader.
Love her.
Reese Witherspoon.
What?
And Laura Dern. Laura Dern's kid, I know, was one that was bullied a bit here. But it's about there's bullying and all the stuff that the parents deal with the kids. But like I know Nicole Kidman is married to, or is her husband was Alexander Skarsgård on that, and there's some abuse at home with Nicole Kidman. Shailene Woodley also was a kind of an abused mom, but she's single now. And then you have Reese Witherspoon and Laura Dern. But from a nudity standpoint, was kind of, I'm psyched. They're only 3 episodes in, but already Nicole Kidman's been naked in 2 episodes.
Wait,
and
what?
We're big fans. Yeah, she's in the Mr. Skin Hall of Fame first and foremost. She's been nude 17 times, and check out from episode 3 last night in the shower.
Oh yeah,
Nicole Kidman. It was actually a very good scene. Now there's a master debate going on in the Mr. Skin offices here because you got to understand something. We have the pics and clips of all of Nicole Kidman's 17 prior nude scenes or movies and movies that she's been naked in. We were looking at her breasts today, and from last night, and we are very confident that she's had a little boob work done because number one, they're bigger,
right,
and number two, there's no you could look at the breasts there and tell they're fake, right? I mean,
if I didn't know what her boobs looked like before, I would have been like, no, she just has a great natural plump. Yeah. She's very lucky, perky chest. But we have seen her previously nude several times. She's getting older, which decreases, breast mass. So it just makes no sense that the top of her boob would be so full if she hadn't had a little bit of work done. But what I love about it is she didn't go overboard. It's so natural and the size looks great. So I think she just probably got a little plumping action, obviously, surgical, but it's for sure.
Don't get me wrong. I want to stress she looked great last night.
She looks amazing.
But all the guys in our house, and we have this thing at our website, which is our big dilemma here, is that when we have an actress at the website, we tell you if she has real or fake boobs.
Well, she has both
right
now.
away. Well, that's the problem. So at 7 a.m, I'm doing radio shows, and I get a thing on our chat where our head of content, Joey, was like, hey, we got to change Nicole Kidman to fake breasts. And I go, whoa, let's think about this. 17 of her appearances were with her naturals, and 1 without. Is she really, how do you handle that? So that's one of those things.
How do you handle that?
Yeah. Do you put an asterisk on her nip? Yeah, we put an asterisk on her nip. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure how we're going to handle that because it screws things up. Like one great example is Demi Moore,
right?
Who early in her career, About Last Night and some other things, was her natural, smaller. Blame It on Rio, and then she did in the striptease days.
Yes.
You could tell she 100% had fake boobs.
Totally.
So is she fake or real? So. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
I think you need to maybe make a both category. Was a real, a fake, and a mixed.
Yeah. See that no. You know what? That's the kind of the front runner right now is to do a both, where you say that both meaning that in some movies
both.
She had her in some movies real and some movies fake. So.
But they look incredible, and you know what? She keeps well care of herself. I mean, her body. I was watching her in what's that movie, Lion, and I was just like, what does she do to her skin? I don't know how old she is, but she takes really good care of herself, and how she does it is she does really slight things. Like these breast implants are not big. She does little tiny tweaks here and there so she doesn't look overworked. It's really smart what she's doing as far as her aging process. So I like her new boobs. They're not obvious, they're not crazy, they don't look super hard, they just look like a plumped up version of what she had.
Yeah, but definitely a difference. And anyway, so that was last night. Also, Shailene Woodley last night. You're not looking at the one pic, but when she was laying on the bed last night, she was butt up in bed, and it was so hot. It was a flashback to with her husband. But she also went for a skinny dip in the ocean, which was pretty amazing too. So I got to say that Shailene Woodley, who people would know from Divergent, The Descendants with George Clooney, she, for a young actress who's pretty, established and doing very well, has done some real nice nude scenes, and just as kind of a bonus that out of the blue, she did some nudity. Now, I've heard she's bisexual in real life, but Andrea isn't everyone.
Well, with enough alcohol.
Right.
I love her. She's such a free spirit, and she's really smart, and she's really open-minded. I could see her being like, I don't even have sexuality. She's kind of just like a very open-minded person in all regards of her life. So when we're talking about her nude scenes in Big Little Lies, it seems like butt only. When she does nudity in other films, is it butt only as well, or have we seen her boobs before? Oh
no, she did White Bird in a Blizzard, and she was completely nude, having sex, and it was in perfect lighting.
Nice.
And you saw her boobs, and the guy was on top of her, but you got clear shots of her, and she's done both breasts and butt, and some really nice nude scenes. So, and she's young. She's not.
Yeah, she's in her 20s.
She's 20 something. It's really nice. So Shailene Woodley is kind of, to me, one of my favorite actresses now, just because her body of work, her nudity is getting up there. So Big Little Lies was a nice addition. Last night, 2 good butt shots from Shailene Woodley. So, and there are only 3 episodes of the 8 in. So hopefully we'll see Reese's Pieces at some point. She hasn't been naked yet. And Laura Dern last night,
she gets naked, doesn't
nude.
she?
Well, she's been naked in Wild at Heart and Rambling Rose, 2 movies, but that was way back when. Last night she was getting banged by her hubby, and it was a really loud, fun sex scene. Now she didn't get nude but it was very hot. So I'm digging Big Little Lies so far as the nudity goes, and right now we have 2 of the 4 stars have done nudity, Reese Witherspoon and Laura Dern.
Yes.
Hopefully in the upcoming episodes, but I'll definitely keep you abreast of all of that.
Please do. I mean, with this A-list cast, I'm dying to know. I probably am going to start watching this just because of this conversation. So thank you for enlightening me.
Hopefully it'll be a TNA list cast when it's all said and done. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about was Girls, because I know we did talk about the first episode of Girls when Lena Dunham was sunning her clam out on the balcony. But they had it was an interesting night on Girls last night. Well, actually, before I talk about last night, there was the 3rd episode of Girls, which was last week. I wanted to bring this up because I didn't get to talk about it with the Anatomy Awards, but there was a crazy scene, and I'm sorry I didn't get the pickup for you. But so last week, Lena Dunham, it was a long, drawn-out episode where she was interviewing Matthew Rhys, who's the guy from The Americans on FX.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
He was co-starring, or did a guest appearance on the show, and he played a writer who I guess she wrote about and I guess she wrote about some sexual allegations he had in his past. So he somehow got a hold of her. She comes over to his apartment just to talk, and scene was going on. It must have been 15 minutes where they were just talking back and forth.
Okay.
And then, for some reason, Lena Dunham, he lays down on a futon or something, and Lena Dunham lays next to him, and he makes a comment like everyone wants to grab his cock or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. You wouldn't believe this. Next thing you know, his cock is hanging out of his pants.
Wait.
Like it's like his heart. It was like, well, here's the thing. They used a prosthetic. It wasn't, because we watched the scene and she literally, it was funny because it's an overhead shot. They're like spooning. He takes his cock out of his pants and she's spooning next to him. She reaches down and just holds it for like a couple minutes and says, I can't do this. And she gets up and leaves. But most people would think that was Matthew Rhys's real dick, but it was not. It was definitely a prosthetic, because as she takes her hand away, it flops in this weird way, like a springboard,
like an unnatural way.
Yeah, there's no way a real cock would do that.
How big was this prosthetic?
It was pretty big. I mean, it was that. But then again, I think it was supposed to be a hard on. But yeah, it was decent size. It was.
How bad must that make Reese feel though? That it's like they have to use a prosthetic because his dick might not have big enough to fulfill the role of that scene, or he didn't want to do it. I'm just trying to.
No. In fairness, who knows? I mean, to make it so they have the effect of that boing thing when she let go. Anyway, but it was. I saw a lot of articles. People were freaking out that this penis scene. It's like another shocking girls moment, but that happened last week. So I just wanted to get you caught up on that.
That's
but then
awesome.
This week, last night on Girls. So you remember the famous Allison Williams getting her butt munched?
I do.
Yeah. That was the famous ass eating scene with that guy Desi. So last night, she is getting it from behind from a different dude, that Alex Karpovsky guy. So it wasn't the first guy that ate her butt was different. So this is a different guy, right?
Yeah.
But last night but the funny thing is she's in the exact same place. This is her exact department that when they did the ass eating scene, it's kind of weird because it's in the exact same location.
Isn't she wearing the same shirt?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's when I first looked at it, I was like,
"Is this the same scene?"
I've seen this before. It's the same scene, but now it's the guy's banging her. But no, I don't know. It's like 2 seasons later, but fridge is in the same place, drapes, her sink, the bed, everything. She looks like she's wearing the same shirt.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Hey.
It was crazy, but she's in a tank top which, by the way, I think is one of the sexiest looks. Is
tank top, no
and
bra.
Nothing else.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the guy's banging her from behind, and she fakes an O, or she's like acting like she's really into it, but she's really not into the guy. But it's still a very, very hot scene because he's completely naked and they're bumping him. It's pretty good.
I'm loving it. She's fearless. Yeah. I really like her. Everyone on the show is great.
Right. She hasn't done like a full frontal. She hasn't done like a full frontal where you get a great view of her body or anything.
But she does
a
action.
ton of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does a lot of, and I'll take this. Like, I know like the ass eating scene technically isn't nudity because you don't see her crack, but who cares? The guy's got his face in her butt.
Right.
In this one, he's completely naked, banging her from behind. I think that's super hot, and I'll count that. Now, by the way, I think CP, do you have the clip of this scene?
Yep.
I just want you to hear it.
Yeah.
Like you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my God, this is so hot. But listen, she's like totally not into it, so it kind of isn't. It's not as sexy as the GIF you're looking at.
Gotcha.
You're so hot. Oh,
I want to come.
Fuck me. Yes, please come, and then I'll come with your cum in my body.
Okay, great. I want to count down.
Yeah, it's 5, 4, 3, 2. You can't really. Hold on. Almost there.
Yeah. Well, she fakes an O the way her father fakes stories about his life. So yeah, it was.
Oh man!
Anyway,
I mean,
so that was
as a man, when you hear a girl fake an O or have an O that lamely, obviously this is a show, and
it would crush me.
I mean,
it would crush me.
That's pretty bad.
If I knew someone, if you're gonna fake an O with me,
it better be over the top, right?
It better be a good over the top one where I'm completely faked out.
Right. I mean, that must have. I can't even imagine. That's crazy. But yeah, it's so funny. As an actress, it's like I won't do nudity, but I'll do graphic, very heavily implied nude scenes. So it's very interesting to me because I feel like I'd much rather show my boobs than do a sex scene with my top on, if that makes sense. But everyone has their own kind of rules and restrictions for themselves. So I'd like to see where she finally goes, because if this is like her bottom line, like I'm not going to take my top off, but we can do it standing doggy. I'd like to see where she goes with this as a professional actress.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, after you've done these scenes, it's not that out of the question to do a fantastic full frontal nude scene. I mean, it wouldn't be, so
yeah.
We'll see what happens. So anyway, I also wanted to mention Tracy Ullman made a guest appearance on Girls last night, and you know her from the Tracy Ullman show,
yes.
And she's a pretty funny woman. But last night, no bra, showing some nice pokies. She plays a writer that Lena Dunham was interviewing also. So anyway, it was good to see her. Turkeys were done, if you know what I mean. And she actually way back in 1994, she did a Robert Altman movie called Ready to Wear, in which she was in a thong. That's my favorite Tracy Ullman moment. But if you saw on the Tracy Ullman show, she did a bit, I think it was last year, where she was running for government and she showed her boobs, and yet it was totally fake prosthetic boobs. It was totally not her. But anyway, she's never done. And my favorite moment is from Ready to Wear in the thong. But it was kind of cool to see the no bra pokies from Tracy Ullman last night.
It's so bizarre to me that you mentioned that she would use prosthetics, because when you look at her boobs underneath this green shirt with her headlights on, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, big time.
She looks like she has really nice, full, huge boobs. I mean, at least a D or a double D, in my opinion.
Oh, you think that big?
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I mean,
I was thinking more in the C range.
No,
but
I'm thinking
I defer to you when it comes to racks.
I feel like a solid D. I can just kind of see the fullness underneath the shirt. I feel like, why would you need prosthetics? And then I'm thinking, are these prosthetics too? I don't know, but she looks great in that thong from that movie you mentioned. How long ago was that thong movie?
22 years ago. So Ready to Wear. Yeah.
Who would have thought she had an ass like that?
Yeah, that was a while ago. So
cool.
Okay, Andrew, before I get into my next thing, which is it's gonna blow your mind when there's something new I want to talk to you about. I do want to again thank our new sponsor, PHGH, and their safe and all natural alternative for men who want a little extra boost in the bedroom. Very happy PHGH is on board the Mr. Skin podcast. So go to phgh7.com and watch the video, and you'll learn a lot about how you could feel a lot better in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. So thanks again to them. But Andrea,
yes.
I have something I've been dying to talk to you about. I don't even know what to do with this stuff. I really need your help.
Okay, lay it on me, Skin. Let's figure this out.
This is crazy stuff.
Okay,
crazy stuff. Well, there's a movie called The Assignment, which is out. We streamed it now. You could officially, it came out, I think, March 3rd. And my Skin Scouts saw this at the Toronto Film Festival way back in September. So we've known it was coming. We knew it would be controversial.
Yes.
We knew it would be weird as hell.
I knew that you had mentioned this a long time ago, but I didn't know it was out now. So now people can see it?
It is. Okay. It's at our website, MrSkin.com.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'm ready. Lay it on me.
All right, well, let me give you a little background, because the whole thing just doesn't make sense on so many levels. But I want to get to, because it's really crazy. So let me start with. So from what I understand, this idea or movie was created by Robert Rodriguez. We know he's the guy that buddy at Tarantino. They've done some stuff together.
Really crazy, innovative,
director, right?
Awesome stuff. Yeah.
But it's actually written and directed by Walter Hill. Now, Walter Hill, that name might sound familiar to some people out there, and he's very familiar. If you remember, in the early 80s, he was a huge director in the early 80s. He did movies like 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy, and my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, is The Warriors from 1979, a gang movie. But he also did Brewster's Millions, Long Riders. Guy was huge at one point.
Okay.
He's 75 years old now.
Oh.
I didn't even know he was still alive. He hasn't done anything in over like 20 years. Like nothing, Walter Hill, nothing out there. Well, he does this low budget film, The Assignment, so here's the story.
Yeah.
Tell me how crazy this is. It's about a macho hitman man who kills the brother of a famous surgeon. Okay, the surgeon is Sigourney Weaver.
Cool.
He kills the brother of the famous surgeon. Sigourney Weaver gets revenge by kidnapping the hitman and performing an unwanted gender reassignment surgery on him.
I love it.
Yeah. Now, once the man regains so it was a guy, unwanted gender reassignment. Once the now woman regains her strength, she plans a counter revenge on the doctor, Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, this is getting good, Skin.
Yeah, so the hitman woman is played by Michelle Rodriguez, who's super sexy. You know her from Fast and the Furious.
She
and
just,
Lost.
I never found her like conventionally pretty, but there's something about her where you just want to fuck. You know what I mean? Like that. It's that raw, sexy, I don't give a shit attitude that makes her hot. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes. So now it's just crazy. Now, okay, so here's where it gets really weird.
Yeah.
So Michelle Rodriguez,
it gets more weird?
Well, it's tons of nudity. Now, we saw this stuff, and this is again why, how do I explain this? nowadays there's so with prosthetics and merkins and everything is
CGI,
up for grabs.
yeah.
Just what you see on Tuesday isn't exactly what is the actual reality on Friday, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So we knew that she was very naked. We knew that we'd see some good stuff on her. And, the problem is this crotch technology is so out of control. So we're looking at her and we're seeing titties, bush, butt, like, this is awesome. And she had never done an official nude scene before. Now, this would have been, without question, one of the top, 5 nude scenes of the year based on her, lack of prior nudity, her star power, and what she showed.
Exactly.
Then articles start coming out in the last day. Actually, this morning we found one we were passing around the office where she was saying that, okay, look at her breasts there.
Right.
She wore nipple pasties over her nips to make them look more like it was from a gender reassignment surgery, which blows my mind because I wouldn't know what the hell to
have
look at.
Smaller areolas and nipples than women do.
Okay, well, that's that.
Okay.
So, number one, now, on one hand, you're seeing most of her breasts. It's just like little pasty nips over her real nips, but it was just like, okay, so then there's that. Then she said that she was wearing this very hairy mangina thing to make it look like it was the man. It was basically take away the penis, but whatever. So we're thinking we're seeing bush, and it was like a
merkin.
Basically a merkin. Yeah. So now the butt shot's hers. So she is nude in this, but now, as excited as we were initially, it's like we're finding out, well, yeah, the nips are covered. That's a merkin. So it's not as great as nudity as I had hoped, but it is definitely something everyone has to see because it's an actress that just hasn't done much nudity-wise in her career.
And you know what? Even though it's a different nipple, and I understand they had to do that so it, for the continuity of the storyline, you can't have a man actor with tiny nipples then have, large woman areola. I get that. And I don't even know if that was maybe a choice of hers as an actress. Maybe she would have shown her boobs had the script not called for it. But the fact that it's still her boob, you still see them in action. I can live with the no nip thing. And
right.
The merkin thing I get too is part of the script. Like she can't have a coiffed, landing strip. She has to have a man bush.
Right.
I totally get it. But I love it. I'm mesmerized by these photos, and the storyline is ridiculous.
I know, it's crazy, and we're in a brave nude world now.
We sure are.
It's hard for me to keep up. It's like we find stuff, and then like 3 days later we have to update and change things. So it's been happening a lot. And this is just another example. But anyway, I think people should check out The Assignment, if for no other reason, just to see Michelle Rodriguez in the least amount of clothes she's ever worn in a movie. So
absolutely.
Check that out. Yeah. So that was the one I needed to talk to you about because it was like driving me nuts when I was getting ready for this show. It was almost like breaking nudes. Like at one point I was like, oh my God, you see, look at how great her breasts look. And then I found out she has pasty. So I had to like change up my thing. So even for me, this has been kind of a cluster fuck. But,
just say it's good.
Anyway,
cluster fuck.
Yeah. The Assignment is the movie. Michelle Rodriguez. It just came out. We have it at MrSkin.com if you want to check it out. Now, one other thing is there's another thing that my guys have been talking about that we've been anxiously awaiting. It's this, and I don't know if this will be of interest to you, but it was to me. It's there used to be the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling was an 80s syndicated TV thing, and it's Netflix has an upcoming series about this women's wrestling in LA in the 1980s.
Oh,
and it's
cool!
Got tons of hot babes. And if you look at the IMDb page, just like 25 different hot girls that are going to be wrestlers on the series. And one of them is Allison Brie, who you might know played Annie on Community, Peter Campbell's wife on Mad Men, if you're a fan of Mad Men. But they released a kind of a trailer for this. It'll be out June 23rd. They'll release, Netflix will release the whole series on that date, but the 30-second teaser is pretty cool, and you could see what I'm talking about, where they're in that sexy 80s wrestling outfits.
Yes.
Just the amount of hot chicks, and I'm just guessing, I don't know for a fact, but I'm just guessing we're going to get a lot of nudity, and everyone's kind of hopeful that Allison Brie will make her nude debut and glow. I can't promise you anything, but it's something that I know a lot of guys are hoping for.
Well, when you think about it, the whole world of wrestling, all the changes, all just what goes on backstage, there has to be nudity.
Or in the locker room,
that's what I'm saying.
because
Yeah.
that's what I'm banking
That's
on
what
is
I'm
a little
thinking.
locker room nudity. Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
So we'll
wrestling
see.
is like a stage. That's why I say backstage. But no, it is a locker room. And I grew up with my dad watching wrestling. And even though I don't have a personal interest in it, I'm very familiar with it. And I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's, like I said, June 23rd, GLOW,
Love
Gorgeous
it.
Ladies of Wrestling, and it's from Netflix. Check it out. Hey, 2 quick things,
Sure.
nudity nuggets I wanted to bring up before we close up here. One is now, do you know who Bella Thorne is? You've heard the name Bella Thorne.
Yes.
She's 19 years old. Over the weekend, was finally nude on Instagram. This was big news in the world of celebrity nudity. And now, for older guys out there, that she's like a child star that you might know from not you would know, your daughters might know from Shake It Up, Disney Channel type stuff. And she's a singer and been, she's like a today's Miley Cyrus from 10 years ago or something.
Okay.
So, anyway, she's a little crazy and she's always wearing these sexy outfits, but finally, she did this Instagram post where you could see can you see that there?
Oh,
Where
I
she
can
was
totally
like,
see it. So she obviously didn't intend for her Instagram feed to be live, right?
I'm not sure the circumstances. The bottom line is she posts a lot of crazy stuff. The guys here showed me another post after this where you could see a little nip in the corner of the picture, but whatever. The bottom line is this was a big thing over the weekend that Bella Thorne,
bouncing
19 years
around
old,
naked in her bath. I mean, that's hot.
And what a body. She's got the classic party hat boobs. Like,
Yes.
you want to see the Pointer Sisters or whatever. They're really, really
They're good.
Nice. And only 19-year-olds can have boobs like that.
I know, right?
It's like drives you nuts. There's no saggage unless you jump. Like I don't know what she's like trying to put on her.
She's
I don't know
she's
what
trying to
hell
pull
she's doing
on
there.
a sheer black mesh bodysuit.
Okay.
So she's jumping into it because when you wear something that skin tight and that form fitting, you have to kind of wiggle, jiggle, or jump into it. So I think that's why I think I'm not sure that she meant for this to be live in a way, because I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on, but if you got your phone always on and you're taking
and that's
pictures
what we need
of
to be
yourself
careful.
24/7, you're going to have a slip up here. But anyway, this was big news. I know a lot of the younger guys, MrSkin.com guys are Bella Thorne fans. It's funny. I needed to look her up. I didn't know much about her. I heard the name and I knew what she looked like, but I didn't know that she was from the Disney Channel and all that other stuff. So I did my homework on her, and anyway,
and now we know.
It was a big nudity nugget over the weekend. Hey, two last things. One is, Kate Moss in the late 80s, early 90s was known as like the waif model. She was always getting shit because she was so skinny.
Heroin chic, right?
Yeah, heroin chic. And I gotta say, they just did a thing. I think it was in W Magazine this month where we did a blog. I think we did a blog post on it, but we definitely were talking about it here at our office. Andrea, she's never looked better, and I agree. I prefer more. And I'm not saying she's at all heavy, but she's definitely not wafy. So she's got to be. I don't know. Maybe one of our guys could look up her age real quick, but she's got to be in her mid 40s now. But my gosh, does she look
amazing?
She looked great. Yeah, she's like growing into her nips. She used to be so skinny and small chested. Now, like, Andrea, what do you think of the size of those boobs right now?
I love it, and I don't know if I know nothing about her personal life, but if she was partying really hard, you can't really gain weight. Yeah. So the fact that she's kind of maybe eating, or just comfortable in her own skin. A lot of times when women age, they get thinner. Seems like she just has these amazing genetics where she's actually kind of aging in reverse.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
She's amazing. And she does look better, in my opinion. I think you're right.
CP, the EP, just told me that not only is she a mom, but she's 43 years old. So maybe she's just living a healthier life.
Yeah,
and
probably.
Whatever. But I got to tell you, man, she's never looked better to me. And I always think it's like when Marissa Tomei was in her early 40s and got naked.
Yes.
Like when she was in her 30s, I thought she was hot. But once I saw her in her 40s, Nude and the Wrestler, and Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, I became a huge fan. And it's always
me
cool
too.
40's the new 30s. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. Kate Moss looked
fantastic,
awesome in W Magazine this month. And last but not least, next week when we talk, there's two shows that my guys. Friday's going to be a busy day at the Mr. Skin offices because the Amazon show Hand of God Season 2 with Ron Perlman. Season 2 is going to be released on Friday. They had a lot of nice nude scenes in the first season.
Cool.
So what happens with these Amazon or Netflix shows is they release the whole complete season at once. So my guys have to go through every episode and report on the nudity. So Hand of God Season 2 with Ron Perlman out on Friday, and Netflix's Love, the Judd Apatow, he's the executive producer, their Season 2 with Gillian Jacobs and Paul Rust will be out on Friday also. So we got 20 episodes at least to go through, and the Love first season had a three-way that just lost out to my Anatomy Award winner from Easy with Orlando Bloom, Malin Ackerman, and Kate Micucci.
Right.
So they had a great three-way in Love and some other great scenes. So looking forward to Season 2 of both of those shows, and hopefully we'll have some good nudity to talk about on Monday from them, and tons of other stuff with girls and everything else going on this weekend.
I cannot wait to hear what you guys find.
Wow.
Sounds like only good things to come. Pun intended.
Yes. Well, of course. But anyway, so all right. Well, cool. Well, I'm so glad we got to catch up again, and hopefully Jimmy will be back next week. But if he is not, the show will go on.
Great things and good hopes for him. And we'll keep doing our thing. And it was just great talking to you. We learned a lot today, and talking about the new crotch technology with Michelle Rodriguez was pretty fun. I feel like I learned a lot.
Times they are changing. When I started this thing, the only thing I had to worry, like, is that a body double or a real actress? Now it's like CGI and merkins and
totally
little nip pasties that look like real nips.
The
it's
world
like, I
we
don't know
live
what
in, man.
do. Yeah, but we'll figure it out. We always get to the bottom of it when it's all said and done. So
well, awesome. Well, have a great rest of the week, and thank you to the listeners, and we'll see you guys next week.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.